Well, the next step forward was to make it a pressure vacuum breaker. Instead of just letting the force of gravity put the poppet down, now they have it set up so that there's a spring inside of it. Make it a little more expensive, but now that poppet has a spring pushing it down. So that's called an atmospheric. This is called a pressurized vacuum breaker. I said air, it should be atmospheric vacuum breaker. This is a pressurized vacuum breaker, and we're using a spring tension to drive the poppet. And again, there is a poppet on the inside that floats up and down in there that gets seated, very solid on a float. Pressure vacuum breaker. And that's a little better, but it's still not a great choice. Again, it must be at the highest point of the system. So if you're pumping up over any hills or anything, this isn't a very good choice. In fact, it's not going to work in some cases. Now we have just a basic check valve here, two identical ones. And here the flow goes up through this valve. And as long as flow is trying to go down, it pushes it down. There's a seat in here that's locking it closed. But as soon as water gets pressurized from the upstream side, it pushes the poppet inside open, and you can hear it, it's spring loaded so that it can be set sideways, could even be set up and down. It's still going to operate correctly as a check valve because it's spring loaded. Some of them don't have a spring in them. They just rely on the pressure difference or gravity to open and close them. But this one actually even has a spring poppet in it, so it's a spring-loaded check valve by definition. And there's a way to stop backflow. Again, it's not a sure bet that it's going to stop 100% of the liquid. What happened if we got a little particle in the water and got caught between the face of the seat and the poppet? Well, we'd have leakage, wouldn't we? And then we could have leakage of the contaminant. So there's another option that could be used, and it is better than nothing, but it's still not legal. Well, they said, heck, you know, if we're going to have, maybe we can go to 2 check valves in a row. So they go to a double check. So we call a double check valve. Water's coming in this direction, has to go through 1 check valve, comes up, has to go through a 2nd check valve, and then on out the system. Now we're getting those odds thinned way down. What are the odds that both check valves could have something holding both seats open? Well, that's getting pretty slim all of a sudden. This device is approved most places. Walla Walla County, you can use this. City of Walla Walla, you can use this year. They change on and off. But right now, in the city and in the county of Walla Walla, this is a legal device, and you can put anything downstream of this, and it's going to be okay. And I would trust this in my own house so that I wasn't concerned about drinking chemicals in my own water. You know, that is the true test. Would you trust it in your house? Would you bet your life on your backflow prevention? That's the true test. If you say yes to that question, then it's probably pretty safe. If you say no to that question, you probably better do a better job, put in a better backflow preventer.